look for in a role? I think I look for things that interest me. I think I look for things that I don't quite understand, and things that I want to explore. I look for things to be difficult. I don't want it to be easy. And if it feels like I know exactly how to do it as soon as I read it, I'm not really that interested. It's always got to kind of be a challenge.
I'm looking for something a bit different from what I have been doing, usually, in a role. And I'm mainly looking for truth and integrity. Even, no matter what it is, even if it's a comic cameo, there's still got to be a truth behind it. And I like the whole, I'm not just looking at my character, obviously, I'm looking at the whole thing. I like the thought that it works.
For me, it's really exciting if you have a character that has an arc, that learns something. I like roles where you get a chance to transform, not just physically but emotionally, and to be able to play a strong female character.
I'm pretty bad at reading scripts, although I do a lot of it. So you'd think that I would have got better, but I'm not brilliant at it. So I take a lot of advice. I'll get other people to read stuff as well, if they have the time and the inclination. Also, a pretty good judge is if I'm reading a script and I don't want to either throw it at the wall or flush it down the toilet or just put it down. If I keep reading it, then that's a pretty good indicator.
And then after that, it's who's going to direct it, who's going to be in it, and that sort of thing, and where is it going to be shot.
In terms of preparing, it really depends on the role, and I think the director and the type of material. If it's a period piece, for example, I try and do research about the period, look at historical material. But
I got into a lot of research with a film I did called Dangerous Method, and then I did, actually all around that period, it was very, very research heavy. So it would be whatever the thing was based on, and then I'd go off on a tangent and read just absolutely everything. From technically, I'd just go over and over and over and over and over the script as many times as possible to try and make the dialogue sort of muscle memory.
The older I get, the more prepared I feel I need to be on every level. I never used to learn lines until the night before, but now I can't do that anymore. They have to be committed to long-term memory, as opposed to short-term memory, generally speaking. That you can't always do that, but that's what I try to do. So I usually have a good grasp of the script.
I read the script a number of times. I try and break the script down into a timeline to see if I understand the beginning and the middle and the end, and also if there are flashbacks as well. I get quite confused, so I'll do a couple of timelines to see if it all makes sense to me, so that I can track the journey.
You want to know who the person is, even though you might only be doing 5 minutes of the script that day. So I will do my own rehearsals as if I was rehearsing with a director, really, on my own.
I did a movie last year called Beyond the Lights, where I had a lot of singing and dancing, and so that became part of the preparation, watching music videos, having singing lessons, dance training. Obviously that's not required for every role.
So if I can, I'll go and meet people who do the particular job of the character that I'm being asked to play. I mean, if it's a period piece, that's slightly more difficult. I'll generally read around the topic. If it's a writer who's written other stuff, then I would, go and look at their other material.
In terms of a successful collaboration between actor and director, I think it's really about understanding the vision of the director, understanding the point of view, also listening. It's sort of so simple, but it's such a key thing in any sort of artistic, creative collaboration.
The directors I've loved most have been the ones who are very free, who are open to people's suggestions, no matter who it is. People like Stephen Daldry, who he'd suddenly say, let's just shoot another scene here now. Why don't we, let's say they're in this room and this happens, and we'll just shoot another scene, and we'll talk about it in the caravan, and then just do it. I just loved that.
I don't think that I could talk about directors and not talk about Joe Wright, because we've done 3 films together, and I think that collaboration has to be the most important of my career. We have a working relationship that isn't necessarily comfortable, and is quite challenging. Is always supportive, but it's not like. But we've got this weird thing where we sort of don't need to speak to each other. So even when we're disagreeing, it's not like we're really doing it verbally. We're sort of doing it with mime and looking at each other, and I think particularly when I first sort of started working with him, it was a time when I was getting a lot of criticism from everywhere, and he was sort of the first person that said to me, you can really do this and you need to work hard and put your head down, and so obviously, you know, I've always hugely appreciated him for that.
I don't like being over-directed. Some people feel that they have to be seen to be directing, you know, and they come in and give you a note after every thing, and because the only thing you've got are your instincts. So if and they can be interfered with sometimes rather than nurtured, and I find that then you start to doubt them.
When I worked with Stephen Frears on Tamara Drew, I suddenly realised when I saw how he works with all his other crew that he just brings people in who he trusts. He trusts you to do your job. He doesn't, you know, ask you to do your job if he doesn't think you can't do it. If he thinks you can't do it. And so that was really wonderful to go, oh, I see, you're just letting me do what I can do. And that's really exciting to know that someone goes, yeah, no, I trust you.
Pearls of wisdom. I don't know if I feel experienced enough to have great pearls of wisdom. I mean, for me, it's really been a case of working hard and being determined.
I'd say make sure you really want it, because it's a hard road if you don't. There's a lot of rejection. You've got to really believe in yourself.
We've got a poster on our kitchen wall, which is a painting in the National Portrait Gallery of the back of Samuel Beckett's head watching a production of Waiting for Godot. And on the bottom it's a thing that he used to say, which was, no matter, try again, fail better. We must be more brave about failing and of dealing with rejection. The rejection is not personal. It's not personal, it's necessary.
Yeah, it's a really hard profession. You know, I mean, you've got to love it. You've got, and it is a vocation. It doesn't work if it's not a vocation, because you are going to get trampled down. You are going to get people saying no, and you have to have that thing where you can't do anything else, because then, you know, then you are an actor.
So I think it's, you know, keep on, and also get a job. I would say that to young actors starting out, is get a normal job, a real job that you can work around auditions and whatever, so that you hang out with real people, because those are the people you're hopefully going to be portraying, unless you're the sort of person that's going to portray a lot of serial killers.
If you become famous, don't believe any of the hype, because that's all it is really. It's all a mirage. You know, just believe in yourself.